Conversions ain't easy, but they sure are fun. Spiky Bits. Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Bear from SpikyBits.com, and today we're going to take a look at some conversion bits. So Liber Daemonica has a great lineup of bits, both from themselves and also KF Studios, over on their website, LiberDaemonica.com. And they sent us a huge box of their latest release, which are great conversion bits for doing everything from, like, you know, some really cool looking Grey Knight style Marines or Librarians, which, you know, it's kind of hard to find a good looking librarian sometimes. So that was the first thing that popped into my mind when I was like, oh cool, we got to make some conversions. And best of all, they're Primaris scale, so you can use these to make all sorts of different creations, because you don't have to just buy the weapons or the torsos or the legs. You know, you can get them all individually if you want, and kind of mix and match and do whatever it is that you're looking to do. And that's why I love just like checking out conversion bits and just kind of letting the hobby juices go, because that's, for me at least, sometimes the funnest part of the hobby. So here is a look at their site. It's LiberDaemonica.com, of course. And then I did a search for Wardens, which will bring up these particular bits here, which are newer. And it looks like they got one on pre-order too, for the shoulder pads. Now, I actually like the shoulder pads. I didn't realize that they had a little heraldry kind of bit on there at first, but they have all sorts of different, you know, weapon arms here, and then of course you got the shooty arms. Now this way I had to stretch this to fit on the screen. It's the correct proportions on the actual web browser themselves, and you can see these really cool backpacks as well. So now, yes, if you want to combine all these kits, and I'm going to show you the legs and torsos we're going to look at today, it's going to cost you more than the plastics. But I think what I like most about these is you can kind of mix and match. You don't have to like get one of each and then put them together and make them look a certain way. You can kind of mix and match them and do whatever with them, because their bits work for just about anything. And these are really cool because they're kind of that different looking flair that I think a lot of people might look for in their kind of like more futuristic kind of grimdark, instead of just like straight up grimdark. And then for the torsos and the legs, you're just gonna have to search for Gothic, and you'll get those right here. But you know, for $9 for a set of even, I don't get how this is $9 and then this one over here is $9, but whatever, it works. So yeah, it's gonna cost you about, you know, if you want to get everything in resin and make a really cool bespoke, like super ornate looking, you know, Grey Knight alternative, you could do that. It's gonna cost you way more than buying the plastics. But what I suggest is take what you like about this design, combine it with some plastics, and then kind of go from there and make it your own look, right? So here's what the parts will actually look like once you get them in your hot little hands here. So they're really, really well casted, you know, hand poured, you know, artisan, all the words, just really good, crisp. Here, let's get it closer to the camera. You can see it's just a really nice, crisp cast of resin, plenty of area there to do some washes, do some fades. It isn't like bogged down with detail or anything like that, so you can get some really nice opportunity to kind of show off painting skills and things like that. They come with a couple of different capes, like for the front and the back, just to, you know, depending on motion and things, you can just kind of lock them in, because they got this little recess right there, which I thought was pretty smart. So put that aside. Now the shoulder pads, which we already have, I thought was pretty neat, because yeah, they got the books and stuff on them. Oh, and also too, remember that little hack, if you're not savvy to it, just wrap some poster tack or fun tack or blue tack or whatever they call it, and around any of these little small parts here. And what you're going to want to do is use this to support, and then you're just going to want to cut this piece off. I can't see it under the camera, so we're not going to do that one because I don't have a really good angle at it. But what I liked about these shoulder pads was that they include these little heraldry bits too, which are really nice and crisp, and you glue them like right there, which I thought was pretty cool. Oh, they go in the corner right like that. And there's a couple different ones. There's round ones and different size ones, which I thought was pretty neat. And then these are really nice. Like, they're super crisp, and they got the, you know, the little kind of psychic hood, the you know, it just looks really futuristic and things. And I think, you know, being in Primaris scale, which of course I don't, oh, yep, there we go. It could definitely kind of, even if you just sub this out on all your Primaris dudes, it would definitely give them a very different look just by switching off one bit, which I think would be pretty neat. And then these had like the, what do they call them, the sickle mag or banana. I don't know the exact term, but they're pretty neat. And then they just kind of use these little wrist kind of braces to go over onto the bracer arm right like that, and it's pretty easy. And then there's a little the hand actually doesn't come with hand bits because you have to get a weapon for them, just to kind of depending on what you're gonna get there. So just kind of keep that in mind too. Well, some of them do. I don't those. Oh, I guess, because those are the right arms, that's why. So the right arms are going to be the ones with the weapons, so they won't have a little fist on them. But the left, if you're the model, the left is going to have a weapon, or have a fist, or I think they're all closed. Yeah, they're all closed. Well, that makes sense, that's fine. They're not using repulsors out of there like Tony Stark or nothing. And then this here, this is what I was talking about. So the glaives are, you might have to bend that with a little water, no big deal, but a little hot water. This is what I was talking about when you want to cut. So you just take your Fun Tack or Blue Tack, whatever brand it is, depending on wherever you are, and then you're just gonna cut. Because normally if you did this, it would snap, or it could, there's a potential it'll snap this end off, and you wouldn't get that nice crisp cut. But by doing the Blue Tack, you're gonna get something that's way more manageable right there. So just kind of keep that hobby hack in the back of your mind whenever you're working with resin bits like this. Now, let's grab some plastic and bits and the rest of these resin bits and see what we can make. So first up, like I said, you can definitely take all these different bits, glue them all together, and have you know, a completely resin alternative miniature just like this. But, you know, I don't know if that's your vision, but for me, it's kind of not my vision. I like this stuff, but I'm more about like the conversion. Like I have a certain look in my mind whenever I go about a project. So this is cool and you can do this, and this works, and this looks different. But they're definitely, I think the value is the creativity in it, right? And they got different backpacks and things and different weapons. I just used the halberds on this one just to give you an idea of kind of the look. So very similar poses. And the heads, you know, you can definitely swap. I didn't glue those down, so you could kind of swap them in and out. But you get the idea there. But where I think the value comes for something like this is using different, you know, combining plastic kits and things. Now this one was interesting because I was actually able to combine a Grey Knights kit with the resin bits right here, which definitely has a very unique look, right? So it's more of that futuristic kind of style that I was talking about, but it still has, like, you know, some of the elements and things that we're kind of used to, right, for these miniatures. Although the backpack looks kind of small, so you're going from a firstborn to a Primaris didn't exactly work so well right there. So maybe that one's not a good example, I suppose. This one's kind of cool too, with the traditional kind of look and, you know, and bits to it, but a smaller backpack on the back, unfortunately. But I think it definitely works, you know, composition wise, you know, as far as like the look and everything goes. I'm definitely very on board with this. I like it. And I don't, if I was doing Grey Knights again, I probably wouldn't do this particular one, but I could definitely see where it has some merits. Now, the thing that I thought was neat too is you can switch these out and kind of do that whole, like, futuristic kind of, you know, Space Marine looking dude with switching some bits on there, which I think looks really cool. And yeah, that backpack definitely is noticeable. Well, it's definitely noticeable. I don't know if the Grey Knight backpack's the way to go on that if you're doing conversions, but this looks pretty sick. I like this little cowl up here, you know, for whatever insert chapter here of Space Marines. I think this is a very cool look, and I could see where a lot of people would want maybe something like this. You could even use that for Death Watch, which I think would be pretty cool. So those were kind of my ideas of where to go. And then we got this one here that is kind of the opposite, where it's majority kind of plastic and then the bits slapped on there to kind of make more of a overall kind of scale, because, you know, we all got extra bits, so maybe just buying a couple packs of these to kind of create some models out of the stuff that you still have laying around, you know, is probably a good idea as well. So I like all of these ideas. This one's my favorite. For sure. This one you could easily make, use these bits to make a air quotes librarian, or you could even say he's like a librarian, like if you needed a firstborn librarian in a pinch, or even a Primaris scale. Starting with this base here is perfect, and then just add, the extra weapons and things that you think you might need. But as base troops, I kind of like this one with the bolter arms. But the sky's pretty much the limit with the amount of bits that are out there over at Liber Daemonica. And I didn't really touch on some of the trim and things that are in there, but there is the little trimmings and things that can be painted separate. Like I said, there's enough detail that you can leave it flat, or you can go in there and really kind of go nuts with detail work on the tabard and things like they did here, which I think looks really cool. And of course there's hammer bits. Or you can just leave that blank, and you don't even have to like address that as even kind of being metal. But I think it's pretty cool. Like, you have so many different options with this, and these bits right here would make great a librarians, for a librarian as well. I kind of like this backpack personally for that. And then there's your kind of traditional pose. But yeah, so lots of different options. And then I didn't show you on those assembled ones, but this is basically how it scales up to a Primaris. So very, very close. You'll notice the Grey Knight, or the alternative conversion kit bits all mashed together here is a little bit taller, but only because he's on a resin base right there. So he would be about Primaris size if you went with something like that. So very, very cool stuff overall. So like I was saying, tons of conversion bits over there. If I was going to start a Primaris army from scratch, this is probably one of the places I would go to first to check out all the different styles of bits, and then kind of get a good idea in my head. There's a couple other folks out there that have some really good Primaris scale bits that are definitely themed too, that I think are definitely go-tos. But this, being able to kind of visualize it and see it and have all sorts of different options out there, I think is a great place to start and kind of get the creative juices going. Just look at all these different size helmets and things, and then you can kind of mix and match and kind of get that vision down and kind of build up the army, which I think is pretty neat. So overall, Liber Daemonica has a ton of bits to choose from, lots of stuff going on. They put out a ton of content as far as painted miniatures and things, because they also have a commission painting service. So definitely hit them up if that's something you're looking for as well. But other than that, I can't say enough good things about them. The order's coming about 2 weeks or so. So if you've been looking to pick up some cool alternative bits or something a little different, that may be the place to start at for your Warhammer 40k needs. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be very first to like and comment on all our videos. If you liked that video feature, consider supporting us over at patreon.com and get back in the mail each month a miniature crate full of some of the stuff we review here, as well as some of the top 3D artist designs out there too, to help support what they're doing. Plus discount coupon codes from some of those same manufacturers. They're yours to keep, whether you cancel or stay on. It's totally up to you. Obviously, we want to keep you as happy as possible. So check it out over at patreon.com/spikybits.